Hey YouTubers, this is Mr. Taco 250 coming to you from my reloading bench. Today I'm going to do some reloading of 40 Smith & Wesson. We're going to be using some new dies I got here from Lee Precision. There you go. I know you guys have all seen Lee dies before. I've got the 3 die set with the carbide sizer and the scoop. Be loading them there on my RCBS press in the background. We'll be doing a load with the Rainier Ballistics 180 grain truncated cone flat point. It's a lead plated bullet. It is not a copper jacketed. It's copper plated, excuse me. And I've used similar type products before. These are made in Tacoma, Washington. And we'll just give a shout out to Rainier Ballistics for a fine looking product. Got these at Midway just the other day. So let's get started. As you can see, I've got the die screwed into the press. Got the ram all the way up, screw it down until it's just touching the press to the shell holder. And you take your piece of brass. This is just a piece of range brass. I don't know where I got this at the range. This is, I think, a Winchester. No, that's not it. But it's a 40 Smith & Wesson case. This is a carbide sizer die, so you don't need to use any lube, which is what I like about carbide sizer. You stick it in there, run it up through. You can see the spent primer just popped out there, and you're done. That's all there is to it. Now, I know you guys have seen, if you're watching this, you've probably reloaded your own. I don't need to spend a lot of time on this, but I've already done that with a number of cases. As you can see here on the tray, this is a mix of brass. I don't sort my brass unless I know exactly where it came from. I'm not interested in precision target accuracy. Just want something that shoots decent at the range for practice. That's all. I'm a paper puncher for the most part. So these are not going to be self-defense loads. This is just a practice load. So stay tuned, there's more to come. Getting ready to do the priming of the cases. Here's my CCI small crystal primers. I'm going to put them in my primer tray here. Shake them around so that they're all facing the same way. And then because the priming portion of my old press here, this press is like 30 years old, is damaged, I'm going to prime these with a hand primer, which is another RCBS tool. Just FYI, the Lee sizer, Lee shell holders pop right in, no problem. So it's pretty simple. See this? You squeeze it, the arm comes up. You set the primer in there, like so. You take your piece of brass, load it in there, squeeze it till you feel it bottom out. It's that easy. It takes more time to do this way. I realize I don't have a progressive press. I don't even have a turret press, but it works for me. I'm not in any big hurry. This is my day off. So anyway, just going to continue to do that until we get the cases primed up. I'll do another one for you just so you can see it again. Primer in there, case, squeeze, there you go. The nice thing about this hand primer is you can feel just when it bottoms out. You don't have to worry about smashing it in there or not getting it in there far enough, because it's only as strong as you are, and it doesn't have near the leverage that the ram would on this. So anyway, stay tuned, more to come. And I also apologize because this is being filmed on my iPhone, and so it wiggles in between the segments. Okay folks, we're down to the part where we have to bell the case mouth so that the bullet will go in. This case has been primed, as you can see, and as you can also see, the bullet doesn't want to go in. Now, because it's a semi-auto cartridge, you don't want to bell it too much like you would like a revolver, or like you would for a cast bullet. A cast bullet needs a much bigger, needs a much more prominent flare. I've got the Lee case expanding die in. Lee also makes this so that you can add powder through the top up here. I have a little funnel here I could put in there. All the Lee die sets come with the scoop that's specifically set for the caliber that you're loading. This is a 0.5 cc scoop. They also give you a chart that comes with it. It tells you all the different, I'll show it to you briefly. I know those of you who have Lee dies, you know all about this, so please bear with me. So there's all this loading information right here, different powders, different size that you can use, with different bullet weights and types of bullets. So there's all this good information right here that Lee gives you to use, that this particular little scoop, what it will do, it gives you approximate velocities and so forth. Lots of good information from Lee. In fact, I know that you can buy a whole set of these scoops if you want just the scoops themselves. So if that interests you, that's one way to do it. I have used these in other calibers like 357 Magnum and 45 ACP, and the scoop is pretty accurate. I've weighed it on my old RCBS Balance 505 scale, and the scoop is really pretty accurate. I won't be using that today. I'll be using my RCBS Uniflow. I'll be using some very fast powder, similar burn rate to stuff like Bullseye, Winchester 231, whatnot. I'm not going to share my exact load with you because it's going to be safe in my firearms, but I'm not going to put myself liability-wise out there. So there's lots of good reloading information out there to consult. I encourage you to do so. Consult a lot. There's a lot of various opinions. Use your head, think it through, and use known legitimate data. Don't get something from some friend who says, "Wow, this works great in mine, man. You can't go wrong." Err on the cautious side, folks. Err on caution. Anyway, let's get to doing the expandings. Now, I showed you before that bullet would not go in. I just run it up in here. You can feel a little bit of retention, and then you come back out, and you really don't see a whole lot of flare on there, but there's just a tiny bit. And then I go to set the bullet in there, it goes in just a little bit. And that's just enough, because I want to maintain a good neck tension on this round. Because I don't want to have to bell it. You can't even see the bell hardly in the end, but it's just enough to let the bullet get started, and that's all I need. So I'm going to continue to do the rest of these that way that I've already primed, and then we'll get on to the filling with the powder. Okay, we're back, and we've got some powder in the case. Got it through the unifold powder measure. I don't know if you can see it in there, but it's in there. Now we're going to start to put the bullet on. We've got the bullet seating die in. Now, I haven't adjusted this, so you're going to watch me fiddle around with this and make sure I get it right. First of all, I'm going to back out the seating portion, because I don't know, it's always best to start out a little loose and then you tighten it up as you go. You can always shove the bullet in further to a point, but you can't pull it back. Getting it back out if it's too deep is tough to do. So there, I got my bullet set in there. You can see the flares just right. We're going to go in. Oops, see there, I'm way too deep already. So I'm going to continue to use this one until I get where I feel the crimp be where I want it to be. I don't want to have a hard crimp on this. I just want to kind of have a nice taper crimp. This is the standard Lee crimping die. I don't think it's either cammed over. You don't want to flatten that out too much because it'll be, this case, the 40 Smith & Wesson headspace is on the mount. You can see how much of the bullet is inside the case there. That's a little bit more than what I want. So I'm going to have to fix that one later, which I'm about to use my kinetic bullet puller to do so. I'm going to try another one here. This is just how I do it, folks. This is live video. So we're going to go here. Now see, that one isn't in near enough. So we'll screw the plunger back in some. Go in again. There we are. Now you can see it's seated there. Not as much as this one, but less than that. If you consult the information, it'll tell you the overall length is supposed to be, they give it right here in the paperwork that come, all these instructions come with your Lee carbide die set. So it says the overall length is 1.135. Get my calipers here real quick. Some Midway calipers, dial calipers. So 1.135, I'm at 1.15. On that one. Which is, this one's too long. So let's measure the other one. And this is 1.089, which is too short, or shorter than it needs to be. This one will have excessive, even higher pressure than one that's loaded correctly. So I've got to go a little deeper than that. Let's try a third one. This is still a little bit deeper than necessary, 1.095. This is 1.05.